we done set up a whole bunch of profiles
You
on all
say
those.
he's left no stone unturned.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
you right. You know that's right.
All right, that's YouTube coming up now.
Are we in there?
Profile. Yeah, we.
Peace, peace, everybody. Welcome back to another episode, another High Vibe Sunday with the High Vibe Tribe. This Sunday took a little bit of a turn. Our brother Sirius Alchemist will not be with us today due to losing his mom today on a day like today, which is it's a holiday, a day where women should be celebrated. And to lose on today is just, we all send our condolences to the brother. We stand with him in spirit.
Yeah.
But he will rise through this and happy transcendence to his mom.
Yeah.
But everybody that's listening, um, appreciation. I don't celebrate Mother's Day personally, but appreciation to all the moms out there that's been holding it down, taking care of their kids. You all appreciate it sincerely.
Ashe.
Oh, Shay.
I
Ashe.
say,
Yes, yes. Sending positive vibration to Sirius Alchemist. Wow, and the transitioning of his mom from life to life, eh? It's
Yes,
never
yes.
exactly,
easy.
Hey,
exactly.
yes.
Welcome, welcome, family. Welcome to the tribe. To all our listeners out there.
Hmm.
I
Yes,
feel
yes.
from
Welcome. And what a beautiful title. Are we born in darkness? It's a good question. In order to seek the light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great topic, and I think 100% because just this whole journey of what we call in life is just remembering who you are, and getting back to we go through so many obstacles to get back to our higher self, and unfortunately, a lot of people they don't even get on that path or you know seek that journey to want to reach their higher self. So it's a lot of reincarnating going on. Um, I think it was in one of the video that you sent, Oracle. Uh, I think somebody said something about forgetting after passing away. You kind of forget things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's another thing that kind of starts reincarnation. So, how do y'all think that we cannot forget after passing, so that we don't reincarnate? Because that's kind of my first time hearing that. You always kind of hear about your memory being wiped, coming back down, but I've never really heard about your memory being wiped in the passing process. Well, I guess it would kind of be the same thing a little bit, but either way it goes, how do y'all think we avoid that?
Me personally, I think the biggest understanding is of energy, right?
Mm,
And when you understand energy, it's not about what you remember, but it's about how powerful, how much energy was gained before you left. And I
okay.
kind of feel like maybe that's what's putting us back on a new level. It's the energy that we picked up on this course, on this journey. So it's not about you really remembering. It's just about where you left off. And that kind of puts you back in the game in a certain level.
Mm,
That's my perspective of it. I feel like that's mainly what we would be getting back to is that 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 energy source.
It makes a lot of sense
yeah. For
because
me, I have. Oh,
I don't remember stuff from. I'm just gonna say this real quick, bro. I don't remember a lot of stuff, but the feeling of what I got from a certain experience sticks with me. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
yeah. For
Yeah.
me, it was like, it's kind of what the Oracle was saying. It's really about that energy. That energy seems to me like I believe that I won't have to come back here again this time. I think I've mentioned that before. That's because I've gotten here. I know I can feel that my spirit has never been here before. It's never gotten this far in consciousness. It feels very new to my spirit for this vessel. And that kind of confirms it to me that you don't have to keep doing that same cycle for eternity. You just got to raise that level of vibration, because how can you go to a vibration at 1,888 when you're vibrating at 1,880? You still need those 8 points in order to actually go through that. In my opinion, that's how I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
What made me come up with the "Are we born in darkness to seek the light" understanding? Because I've been watching a lot of things this week, and it takes me back to when we first kind of got on this journey, and we were angry about some of the wisdom and the knowledge that was set upon us for us to realize what it was that we were entrapped in, or what we were actually doing with our energy.
Mm,
And a lot of people started questioning, well, why would we go through this? And why would they set that up? And why would they do it like this? And why are they suppressing us? And why are they? But we never really sat back to realize that instead of asking why, we should understand that clearly this is the game. This is the game. Like, you know how video games are. I grew up playing a little bit of video game, but I never really liked it too much. But I do know that every game has its course. It has its levels. It has its understanding of what the game is and what you have to do to get to the end of it.
that's right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when you look at life, we asking like, why is it set up like this, instead of realizing that no, this life that we're in right now is the game. The game was for you to be suppressed. The game was for you to be lied to. The game was for you to do all those things because you had to find the truth in all those things that they put in the game.
Mm,
Exactly. Yep.
Right? So to get back again, ye are gods and we are spiritual and we are high vibrational. The game is for us to get back on that high vibrational level. And of course it has trials, it has tribulations. Again, I'm sure y'all played more video games than me, so y'all kind of get the aspect of it. You're going through new levels, you're going through new courses, you're meeting new people, or you getting new friends, or sometimes. So ours is just different. Ours is
yeah.
outside of what was given in that game source in front of the TV. This is what we really are. Remember, it
Mm,
kind of reminds me as above, so below, when basically everything that's, for me personally, everything that's given to us in front of us also plays within us. So it's always an aspect of kind of the reality that we should be tapping into for our real selves, but we're tapping into it like in video games and in television and in the music, but it's all a message for you to get back to you,
mm, mm.
if that
That,
makes sense.
Yeah, I agree in terms of getting back to you, because remember now, what we now know as we continue on this journey is the highest level in the game you want to get to is love, that love frequency, as they would say, meaning that, and when we say that love is whereas nothing in the game affects you anymore. Like you take off that hat of judgmental, the
Mhm.
judgment, being the judge and the jury over other people's life versus
mm,
just judging your own life and the directions you are taking. So when you hear the saying that are we born in darkness to seek the light, think about the fact that we come out of the universe, which is our mother's womb, which is a dark place.
mm.
and we transition into this
Mhm.
light on a journey, but yet still we have eyes to see, but we still can't see because what we try to see is a physical thing versus a spiritual thing, which is um, we're not able to see it with our physical eyes until we start to ascend spiritually to tap into ourself, our true self, which is the energy that's inside this body and not this body itself. So this body itself is in darkness because the energy which is us inside this body have to teach the body how to see, which is now talking about what we talked about last week, that discernment, discerning versus judging kind of situation. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, being born into darkness to be able to see my highest self. A lot of us are now beginning to see our highest self, but not seeing our higher self with the physical eye more than we're seeing it now through the inner, our sense of sight kind of mentality. So it is a powerful journey, and it is truly a beautiful one. I can say for myself, um, as I was doing my normal in terms of what my life path is, and being a life path number 9, I questioned, why did I have the kind of heart that I have? Why do I love the way I love? Because why? I'm now a life path 9, humanitarian, all of that. Things come with a life path
Mhm.
number 9. So it is like this. I'm trusting that this is my last cycle around, unless I come back as a master number 11 or 22 or
Mhm.
33, you understand. But as for me, in terms of life path number 9, this is where you experience all of that unconditional love. You're coming into seeing everything in its full perspective. And what you call it? An HD, high definition.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Ashe.
Oh,
Ashe, I
shit.
actually like how you broke that down because while I heard you talking, it's like, granted, the title is what it is, but you broke it down in a different aspect of it too. Because in my mind, when I said darkness, I meant more so of the dark times or the dark understandings of what this earth is bringing. But the way
Mhm.
you broke it down in the darkness of what we came from to come into the light. And it made me think in the way that you broke it down is that we came into the dark to get back to the dark.
My, come
Mhm.
on, come on, come on. This high vibe
Damn.
tribe.
Yeah.
This high
Oh,
vibe.
shit.
So I like that because it was like, dang, we, like you said, we came in through the dark to get to the light. Mind you, when I hear that aspect, is light is knowledge, wisdom to get right back to the darkness.
Sorry.
Because the darkness is where we came, and that's where our higher source and everything is that we are one of before we got into these vessels.
Mhm.
So yeah, I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I didn't even know that that was
Yes,
the
yes.
perspective of the title was the when you met darkness as far as like the dark times we had.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But that's why I said it, like, kind of broke it down when I started about it. Is like why people ask me, why are we going through this? That's more so dark times. Why are we being
Right,
this? Why are we being that?
right,
So it was like,
right.
yeah, but I like she made like
Okay.
it's so many aspects of darkness that you can speak on. So I liked how
Mhm.
she explained it because it opened up the now another aspect on top of the darkness and the light method. So that still makes sense. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate now. Watch this. Now that you said that was the aspect of you bringing this topic, the dark times that we're in. And
Mm-hmm.
the dark times that we're in is due to the fact that we don't know who we are.
Exactly.
At
Mm.
least they
Exactly.
don't, people
Yeah.
don't know who they are. So they consider it dark times because you don't know who you are. But when you know who you are and the power that worketh inside of you, when you realize that your tongue, your mouth is the power that the tree of life that speaks life or death to situations and circumstances, the dark times that we're in, we could literally eliminate and erase through our spoken words because everything that is came through spoken words.
Yes, yes.
Mm. Mm.
Ashe.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we are in I would say what do you call it? That they call it the dark night of the soul. But in the dark night of the soul is where we find ourselves because out of darkness comes light. You only know light when you're in darkness. But if you are in light, you will never know darkness. Think about it. Because light is always there. In the absence of light, then is dark space. So what you call this now? This dark times that we are in is to allow us to know that we are the light that can dismantle the darkness. That's why we are beginning to ascend, evolve, all those good words that they're talking about, coming into the fullness of who we are, type of situation and circumstances.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah. So that's why I said when you think of this topic, I say this is a deep conversation.
Yeah, it is. And also, like for those listening that are just getting on a journey, just so they can understand what dark and light mean in a beginner's aspect is ignorance and wisdom.
Mm.
You know,
100%.
so it's
Hmm.
leaving ignorance, getting to the truth, getting to wisdom, seeking more knowledge. So that could also be a form of
Hmm.
what light is when we say dark and light. And
Yes.
um when we speak on the what was it you said earlier about the dark night? Yeah, when we speak on the dark night of the soul, that's also going into who you are, where you're releasing things and characteristics and reactions and thought processes that don't serve you.
Hmm.
So it's things you have to release off of who you are to be in a better stance and a better energy level and to be able to receive the things that do serve you. You have to be
Right.
willing to go into those things to release those things. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Mm.
And that dark night of the soul again. I believe we brought it up last episode just to go off of that is that's a never ending thing as well, because as you
Mm.
grow you're going to always be releasing and it's going to be always something that you have to go into to now remove to recreate your vessel and to walk in your true authenticity.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
So
And it don't take much information for to alter your perspective on something.
mhm,
You know,
mhm, yeah,
just like now. I came into this thinking the topic was about being born in darkness, as far as like like literally being born in darkness to find the light. But you had it was a whole different, it was a whole different perspective behind that, just that quick, you know.
yeah.
So I want
Yep.
to ask y'all too, what do y'all think with that being, with everything just being said, as far as having to release? Why is it why do y'all think some people have such a hard time releasing people that they know is no good for them? I just been having this conversation the last couple of days or so, and it just seems like, well, really everybody. I can't even say all people, because I'm noticing this in pretty much every race. A lot of
Mhm.
people have a hard time letting go of those family members that they know is they into pedophilia, all type of stuff, but they still allow them to come around. I just I'm just trying to figure out, what do we? It's this, we just so stuck on this loyalty word,
Mhm.
that we allow these people in our lives. But why? I mean, is that I'm starting to look at it as that's just a part of the matrix. That's just a part of the illusion. That's part of the trickery.
Yeah, it's
Cause,
comfortability. Comfortability.
mm-hmm,
The fear
you know,
of
'cause,
change, the fear
mm-hmm,
of
Yep.
starting over, the maybe the fear of being alone. Maybe,
mm-hmm,
like you said, this loyalty word, this what they say, blood is thicker than water. And it is. It's programming. Like that's what it is deep down inside. It's programming
sure.
and it's fear.
It is part.
Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of what
Yes.
if I leave this family member and that's all I got. And it's a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That adds up.
Yeah. So that
Right.
yeah, that I agree with. I agree with what Queen Oracle said. You know, that fear, and the programming is a deeper psychosis,
Yeah.
because this is your family, you born into this family, but not understanding that was only the family you choose to come in to trigger your memory to get you on your journey. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's another thing, soul tie. We think soul
Mm-hmm.
tie, but that's another aspect of what's going on. That
Yeah.
soul tie. This
Yeah.
is your you want. So we gotta um, and not until a person is ready. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot force someone to be ready to evolve, to wake up, to get to that level. It's a step by step process. There have to be something that they set in the game to trigger them to wake up,
Mm-hmm.
to get them on their journey type of situation. It may be a fast, it may be a trauma, it may be somebody they meet, a word they may hear, but something will trigger them, and then all of that obligation, all that feeling bound by the fact that I was born into this family would cause them to now want to evolve, want them to be able to separate,
Mhm.
want them to want to develop, want them to want to now leave that toxicity, that toxic environment. You see? But if they set nothing in place to trigger them to get to that path, some of them have to glitch out of the matrix and then come back into the matrix again. So you're wondering why some people dying so young is because that's the glitch in the matrix. Think about the games, like he said, like we said. Think about the games. Sometimes the people die in the Grand Theft Auto prematurely because they got a
Mhm.
blindsided and didn't see that up on the side corner. So you get hit. Now you got to glitch out and then come back in and start all over again. So now when you come back, you know exactly where that person is there in the game to bypass them or to work around them or hurry and kill them before they kill you, kill or be killed kind of situation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's it.
Facts.
That's it. Yeah. I think like when I sit and look back and think of it, like you gotta think about it before we kind of got into our understanding and understanding of what energy fully is. We all, like you said, we all were attached to a couple energy sources that when you sit and look back, you tell yourself, I should have been walked away from that, or but that's only now
Mm-hmm.
because you have that wisdom. That's only now because you
Right.
have that knowledge. But when you're in it, you don't see nothing wrong. Again, I realize people don't see nothing wrong with nothing no one does until it's done to them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, people can know what's going on, but hey, like I don't know if it's like I don't want to say it's intentional. They can know that somebody is bad, but I don't know why in their mind they don't think it's only so long before that person you see bad or you see their characteristics or the way they talk or the way they treat people is bad. How long you think before it get to you? Like,
Exactly.
but yeah, but again, it's like a darkness is over us. It's like a cloud. It's like I don't want to say a spell, but it's like a covering for some reason that you don't see nothing clear until you really looking to see it clear.
Mm.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when I sit and think about it, when I said like she said, it's a lot of soul bonds, a lot of soul bonding, a lot of friendships we had because we had the same moms growing, same type of moms growing up that didn't love us, or we experienced the same type of hurt or the same trauma, and we talked about it. Now it feel like we connected,
Right.
and I realized once you start to heal from those traumas, you realize you no longer connected to that person. Now y'all don't have that
Come
trauma bond. Y'all
on.
don't
Yes.
have that soul tie
Yes.
because you have healed and risen your energy level from it while they are still below. So y'all not matching no more now.
Exactly.
You're not matching no more. So, like she said, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely the soul bonds because we soul bond with everybody. Once we're around them for a certain amount of time, we're creating something. We're creating something. Just us being in each other energy field and we best friends, and now we hanging out every day, and now we doing this every. Yeah, you part of me and I'm part of you, and that's a hard
Mhm.
pull to just break away from just cause.
Mm-hmm. And see, honestly, those I can understand a little bit more. I mean, when it's time, but I can understand those a little bit more. What I'm speaking about specifically is, and I found myself getting irritated about this. These families that know Uncle Johnny is touching kids, and they still allowing him to come around. It's like we got to start doing better and having more accountability to say, because even with my family,
Mm-hmm.
we got a cousin
Mm-hmm.
that when they come around, my parents like, we got to put everything up in the house, make sure we had it. And my mentality is, why even invite them over?
Mm-hmm.
If we got to do all that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. We got to get over
But
this blood is thicker than water thing. People definitely got to tap in more
no,
and realize that
no.
spirituality, man. Just because somebody is your DNA, that don't make them family.
Right, susceptible to do certain things
Right.
that you know will be wrong in the
But
eyes of
not.
another.
But the thing is this, right? It even ain't about them. It's about you releasing yourself. Because if you're holding on the fact that mom and dad know that this person is a, when they come in, they got sticky fingers. Anything they touch can stick to their hand and disappear. Um, that's that's their, the thing is that's their role in the matrix. And that's what I'm saying now. When you get to that life partner, when you get to that place where guess what? I accept you for who you are. This is your part in the matrix that you're gonna play. You're the sticky finger in the family. So I'm not gonna get myself upset about it. And no, you don't want somebody to be a pedophile in your family. You don't want nobody in your family to be molested or raped. But that may be the journey that that person has signed up or created for themselves to come in and experience or to go through. It doesn't
Mhm,
feel good, you see. But when we
mhm,
release ourselves from that seat of judgment is when it becomes easier for us to now be able to handle it from a higher level and higher perspective. You become the drone, you become the eagle, looking at things from a high vibe, from the high vibe tribe dimension, from a higher dimension.
mhm,
You
Mm.
see, but when you're still walking on that same third, 3D density level, it will continue to always bother you. It will continue to give you heart palpitation. It will keep on triggering you and angering you because it's now something in you that has not been released and let go.
mhm,
More
One of the
so than
things.
it is that person.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, more so than it is that person, you got to now deal with you and release. I born into this family. That's my biological mother whose womb I came in. I honor her, whatever have you. That's my biological father whose sperm connected and caused me to be here and stuff like that. But at the same time, I must remember I am on a personal journey.
mhm,
So what I wanted to say real fast on that though is my perspective and understanding when it comes to that pedophilia stuff for sure is we got to remember it's deep programming in the matrix with that. Like that was part of their
Yeah.
sacrifices. That was part of a lot of religion. You know, that was deeply buried in a lot of the words that we were reading to not even understand what we
Mhm.
were reading to create that type of energetic field around us too. It goes on in a
Right.
lot of programs. I'm talking about places we sending our kids to camps, and you got to remember too, it's
mhm,
learned behavior. So that paraphernalia has been passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation from when they
Mhm.
started bucking the slaves and forcefully taking advantage of them. Where we
In the
think we
DNA.
have formed this understanding that it is normal. It is
Mm.
normal.
Mhm.
And let's not forget
Mhm.
our people when they would say what happens in the house stays in the house. That
Mm.
that, that was what was
Yeah.
happening in the house that they wanted to stay in the house.
right,
Right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I want to say that me personally, it's not right. It don't feel right. And when you know right from wrong, again, something that's embedded within you because we don't have to be taught right from wrong. We understand what right from wrong is. You understand
Yeah.
why your feelings are tapped into. Why are y'all even ignoring and acting like that this is okay? Right?
exactly.
So we going to tap into them being as ignorant as the person that doing it and not being no better than the person that's doing it. Right?
Mm.
And
Mhm,
again, we want to
right,
tap into the fact that it may have happened to them, and because they couldn't speak up about it and save themselves, they don't feel like they could save nobody else.
Mm.
Right?
mm,
I also want to say with the fact that yes, it is about us, and that's where that discernment come in, because knowing that somebody is doing those things, knowing that we have a beef in the family, yeah, I could accept you, but I also could reject your acceptance from being in my energetic field.
Exactly.
Right? I'm
So
not forced
yes,
to
yes.
deal with you because of who you are, or how you carry yourself. But yes, my discernment and my acknowledgement of who you are will save me and keep me secure from going through the consequences of who you are because of your ways and whatever you were sent here to do. That don't mean I'm obligated to deal with it and go through it.
Right.
No,
Right?
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You're not
Yeah.
obligated to deal with it.
Yeah.
You and
That's part of you. Like you said, that's part of you knowing yourself, learning yourself, and like she said, accepting people for who they are, but moving accordingly.
moving. Yes,
Moving
I
Exactly.
want
accordingly.
I want to speak about something Jay Hooks was saying though. You know, as far as some of these family members who continue to allow these people to be around. You know, I never could get past that, bro. Like I feel your question. You know what I'm saying? It resonates with me because I always ask myself that. I never understood why. Like my twin, he's known for this. You know what I'm saying? He stays neutral no matter what's going on. You know, somebody could be about to kill his brother. He's gonna remain neutral because he believes that staying out of it is the best course of action. When all actuality, he usually knows who's right or wrong, and instead of him just putting out what's right and what's wrong because he witnessed it, he'll stay out of it. And you know, I never understood like why people. I mean, I understand now, but in the past I never understood why people like would constantly like they know this person was involved in a case, a court case, and that they told in order to get themselves out or whatever, but they'll go and still do crimes with this person. That I never understood that, you know. And then like we know people are stealing, we know people are doing this, that, and the third, and like you know, my wife's neighbor had asked her one time. She said, you know, I'm surprised that your husband said something to that guy like right out in the open like that. I can't believe he said that. And my wife just responded and said, yes, you can. You can absolutely believe that he said it. You know, because I'm not gonna hold no punches. It's you know what I mean. If you are a pedophile, I'm gonna tell you right to your face. Oh no, bro, you can't come in here. What you mean? It's Thanksgiving. We coming to have dinner, man. Let me in. No, you can't come in here, bro. We got little kids running around. People gonna be drinking, and we can't have. Not everybody can have their eyes on you. You gonna have to kick rocks, or I'll make you a plate or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm the type that I've always said that and always spoke out about. You know what I didn't subscribe with. You're right,
because that's how we break generational curses.
Right, and so it just I would be around my family. I still hung around because I still had that stigma and that dogma attached to me of you know blood is thicker than water. But the more I hung around, the more I said, "Damn, these motherfuckers ain't nowhere near what I was experiencing in these group homes and shit. I was getting way more love in these state institutions than I was getting from home. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm stricken with a disease from birth that rendered me to, you know, receive disability, and all they was doing was fighting over my goddamn check. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, hold up, something ain't right here. So, yeah, I feel you, Jay Hooks. It's a good question, bro. And honestly, I think, like the goddesses was saying, you know, that people were stuck to this blood is thicker than water thing, but we're not realizing it until it's too late sometimes, like that we need to look out for us. We need to look out for self. You know, and everybody that did that, they live in a glorious, fabulous life. You know, like getting away from their toxic loved ones, like they start thriving after that. I'm one to brag about it. I'm one of those people that, you know, getting away from that, my life has improved significantly.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like you can kind of tell people that actually have a heart, or let me say a soul aligned with God, and those that not, because I personally feel like I can't be around nobody to do nothing less than what I know is right or wrong. So I feel like if I'm allowing and I'm not speaking up about it, again, I'm not no different than you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I say that to say, like,
Yeah.
do you feel like somebody? I'm talking about not just not what you heard. I ain't talking about what you heard somebody did. I'm talking about you saw somebody did. You may have walked in on somebody doing. You probably
Right.
saw it happen. Like, do
Right.
you think that that person, when you into some things that you know you could probably save another person for or speak out about, and when you don't and you try to say what you taking it to the grave, do you think that? Do y'all really think that person, if they have a heart of God, not thinking about that every day of their life?
Right.
And
Like,
Right.
see
really?
now, all of this, what you're saying now, all of this ties us into this darkness that so many of us, so many of them, don't mean politically us, but so many people are in that there need to be that light, like yourself, like ourselves, now speaking out against it when you see it. Personally, not coming with secondhand or third hand information, but you yourself has caught that person in the act. So here it is now. You bring helping that person who is in darkness to come into the light. Because if you don't correct them and expose them to light, they'll stay in the darkness.
There you go. And it goes into what? The truth will set you free?
Yeah.
Come on now, that's it. So
Facts.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that, and when you think about pedophilia, you go all the way even back into to the to the to the to the Roman Catholic Church, to whatever thing the people who wear the black hats and the black things and bombing their head to the wall, all of them practice pedophilia. They feel as
Mm-hmm.
if nothing is wrong with it. So as you say, even when you talk about slavery and the backing and stuff like that, you know, all of those things, oh goodness, it's
Yeah.
all a
Mm-hmm.
part of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
And
mean, they still have it where they marrying little girls out today, the old men.
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just you took the words right out my mouth, sister. You
Yeah.
know, they got people that because they want it to be accepted. They want it to be okay. You know, because then if it's okay, then I'm not doing nothing wrong. If everybody else is doing it, I'm not doing anything wrong. You know,
But
it's
let's,
just like when
yeah,
we was
that's
leaving here one day and we was rounding this corner. Now we live on my wife lives on a one way street, right? So we're leaving and this lady was like coming down the one way, and I wouldn't move my vehicle because I'm going the right way. And she insisted that I move my vehicle. I'm not moving. You're going down a one way. She said, "So what? Everybody does it. I live right there." I said,
Mm-hmm.
"So because you live right there, that makes it okay for you to break the rules and cause disruption for somebody else?" Yeah, I'm not moving. She had to go around and pretty much hop her car on the curb. I'm not moving. And if you call the police, they're going to see it my way because I'm going the right way. You are not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's really what a lot of people think. They think that because it's okay over here, and if I can get you to be okay with it, when you live in your light and you don't say anything and you sit there and watch me rape somebody, then you're okay with it? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they
that's
want
what
you.
America is built on.
Yeah,
America is built with somebody putting a thought together, and as long as they get 10 or more people, my thought can come true. That's what
Mm-hmm.
America is built on,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And when you go to the deeper spirituality of it, the reason that they're attacking kids is because remember, kids are closer to source
that's
before they
right.
hit about 10 or 11. So it's
That's
really to
right.
break the spirit, and it's also to gain some type of energy for themselves.
Yeah,
It's deeper than just, it's so much deeper. Like,
yeah,
it's really something to break in that child's spirit,
right.
something of that child not getting past the fact of feeling not worthy, not
Right.
loved. Remember, we're gonna go back to that love. If you can take the love I have for myself away, think about how much of a game I'm gonna be in then trying to get that love for me back outside of
Hmm.
everything else
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do out here.
And think about this too, sis. Like you said, it's deeper than just. It's not sex. Sometimes sex got nothing to do with it. Look at the buck busting back in Jamaica. You know, and during slavery days, that wasn't about sex. I had to break this Negro, standing 6'5", strong as a fucking ox. Like, you know what I'm saying? Him and all his family could take out this entire plantation. We couldn't stand a chance. We have to find a way to control them. So yeah, you absolutely right. It's more than just about, say it goes deeper. It's about energy. It's about breaking that spirit. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's what they all about.
Yeah.
Look, even Donald Trump made a post and said the world will not be destroyed by evil people, but rather by people that sit back and do nothing to stop them. That was powerful.
That's very powerful.
What?
Super powerful.
You are part of the problem.
Because that's what's been going on for this long. That's what's been going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People will know the truth and ignore it. Because they fear what the consequences might be if they stand up and step out. Because they fear death. Yeah. That they're dead every day, living in a society and a world put together to only satisfy that one or two or three people.
That's right. What's my saying, Dr. Sublime? Yeah. Get busy living or continue dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you're so right, Empress. So right.
Thanks.
That's why I stand firm on what I believe in. If you're not on this journey, I mean, it is what it is. If you're not with me, you are against me. Period. And I know that might sound cruel to some or whatever, but I don't care. Because if you're not on this type of time and you trying to make some changes to what's going on in this system, you are a part of it.
That's right.
It's that simple.
The Matrix tells us that. Ain't that what Lawrence said?
Well, they say if you're not a part of the solution, you're the part of the problem.
Right. And he said in the Matrix, he said, if you're not one of us, then you could potentially be one of them.
Facts.
See how the agents, they can operate anybody's body that's still tapped into the Matrix.
Yep.
So I can't trust. It's not that I don't, you know what I mean? I think I'm better than you or nothing like that, but I can't trust you to fuck up what we've been doing for the last 100 years.
Exactly.
And that's fixing the problem and doing whatever we can to get as many people out of that mindset.
Just like the guy that was what's the bald head guy that he was on 18 at first.
Cypher.
And then he was
Cypher. I will never
forget. He was willing to compromise everything just to live a content life in the Matrix.
Yeah. I refer to people like him, like they are worse than the actual Asian or worse than a person who's blind, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. A person that's blind don't know any better. But a person that is like a cipher, like, bro, you know better and you're still choosing this. Yeah, I definitely can't rock with you. I don't even want to be nowhere near you.
Exactly.
He opened that phone and dropped it in the trash. He messed up. He could have tore that whole Zion down with one move. Like, yeah, no, I'm cool. We got to stay away from people like that. You will actively and consciously choose. You know what I mean? Yeah, no.
And then people don't even know that they fighting for their oppressor. That's the worst part about it. Like, you don't even know you defending your own enemy.
Yeah, see, that part don't bother me as much because you don't know. What you don't know can't really, you know what I mean? It hurts you, but it's not like you're knowingly, you know what I'm saying? That's like some things you can't do by accident. Like we was just talking. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna do by mistake, just sit there and watch somebody get raped. You don't do that by mistake. You know what I'm saying? Some things you can just kind of stumble into, but like not knowing, and we're born into this blindness and we don't know. But once we know, like right now, we know. Like I know what's up. If I was to choose the Matrix anyway, yeah, I'm be a fool, man. I'm a fool for that. Or maybe that's my journey or whatever. I get that, but I cannot rock with somebody who is going to actively and consciously choose the Matrix when it's clear, you know what I'm saying? Like my wife has a neighbor like that. She actively chooses the Matrix because she's constantly carrying a pity party. Like, there's nothing you say can possibly be her way out. Like there's just, she never sees a way out. There's always an excuse for why you can't do this, why you can't do that. But you constantly talk about the things you want to do. Like I mentioned about not sending my son to school. Oh, I wish I could do that. And so you could do it. This person argues for 2 hours on reasons and ways why they can't do this. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, no, you know better. And I've had these conversations with you, and you are conscious, but you're choosing the matrix. Like you're choosing to eat McDonald's when you know what they put in your food, and you're giving that to your child. Yeah, no, I'm cool.
Yeah. See, that I can't respect at all. I know a couple people like that myself that they know,
Yeah,
but still give it to their kids and eat it themselves. It's beyond me.
yeah. Scientifically proven there's microplastics and all that food that they're putting human stuff in that meat. You know what I'm saying? Human bioproducts in that meat and stuff. And yeah, no, and you still willingly eating that and giving it to your child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I see why you argue every time I mention a solution to an issue that you bring up. All you can do is throw down every solution that's being brought to you. Yeah, now I know why. Because that them chemicals that's in that food, you still consuming that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know it's in the McDonald's food. We all know it's in there. It's in all kinds of foods, but we know it's in McDonald's. We done proved that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it goes like hearing that, it just goes into what Dr. Sublime said, is like allowing people to be who they are, not judging them, because at the end of the day, while we judging them and their over center understanding of life, they're judging us because we're different. We're like the Jesus. Us being in this conscious collective is like the Jesus that nobody wanted to understand. That he was different, right? But Jesus still allowed them to be who they were, accepted them for who they were. And me, I don't want to really say, I despise people that's different from me. But how I look at it now, it goes back to my video game point of view. And that's how I'm going to look at everything. We're not playing the same system, right? I'm playing the Xbox, you playing the Sega. We ain't the same. We not the same.
Sega.
You know what I'm saying? You playing the Sega. You know what I'm saying? You all way behind, and I'm gonna have to lead you there.
Right.
I respect that you got in your game, but we in two different games. And I'm not judging you because at least you playing, and that's your level, and that's whatever class or school you in. Should we could separate it like schools? I'm in high school, you in middle. You know what I'm saying? We not on the same level. Exactly. And I'm not going to judge you for that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and move accordingly and meet with those that's in my same schooling and my same programming and my same, and that because that's what's going to keep my peace, right?
Exactly.
Even me hearing you, Spec, saying how you was talking to the lady, and my question I wanted to ask you, well, how many conversations you had with her? Because after a while, now she just pulling you in to get some energy from you because she already know where your brain at, and she already not trying to match your brain, but she trying to get a little bit of your energy every time to get you out of that brain into her brain.
Yeah, and I can say we had enough conversations where I realized I said, okay, she's at some level of consciousness where she understands what's been going on, that we've been lied to. At least she may not know a whole bunch of different things and aspects of what's going on. And none of us know, anything really. However, we've had enough conversations where I've seen the potential, and then I also seen like, oh no, you just like to combat every possible, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And like I was seeing this one scene in the movie where the dude was just like, he was like, well, it sounds to me like you're all out of excuses. That's Mission Impossible when he was talking to Ving Rhames. He was like, he's like, what do I got to do? And and then he said, well, I'm going to need this, and this, and I get to keep the equipment. So he was like, well, it sounds like you're all out of excuses. He just smiled like, hell yeah, I'm in. Right? So it got me thinking like, yeah, no, I can't. Now that I know what you're about and you're still bringing up excuses, yeah. And I've removed every excuse that she placed. Every excuse I was able to, rebut, like, okay, there's this answer then. There's this answer. And I went through it myself. So it ain't like you know what I mean? Like I just went through that process of getting a grant and doing all that. I was explaining that. She got nothing but excuses for that. When I'm literal, I'm living proof. That's what told me. I said, yeah, okay. I can't get with you on that type of time. We're gonna be on a high and by type of time, you know.
Yeah, because it takes me back to I can take you to the water, but can't force you to drink it. And I think we got to be okay with just leaving people at the water.
Right.
Yeah.
If we can't quench their thirst. That's up to them. I showed you where it's at. Now, if you want to get and quench your thirst, now you got to figure that out. And I think we will find more peace in that, because for some reason we think that as we gain this knowledge, we are forced to give it to others that ain't really seeking it.
Right.
Facts.
That ain't our job. That ain't our job, especially when we still seeking it.
Facts.
Exactly. Watch what you said, Queen. One, the difference in terms of school. Some people in high school, some in senior high, some in junior high, some in primary, some in school. The thing is this, even if all of us are in the same class, me being a former teacher, you have 15, 20 students in the same class, but each student has to take their own individual exam. No student can take the exam for the next student. At the end of the day, it is based on your own personal merit and what you know, what you obtain, what you retain in terms of sitting and taking your exam to move to the next level. How you master the game. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Doing shadow work, come back to seeing the dark night of the soul and dying to old self and changing. What I said the other last week, nothing changes if nothing changes. So if people don't change their mindset, nothing in their life will change. They can continue to be on the hamster wheel running in circles. They don't acknowledge that they're in darkness. To them, think about this, y'all, right? When we go out there in the world and what we consider in the matrix, when we were deeper into the matrix and in the club and having ourselves a good time, we can see the light and talk about no awakening and being at this level. We just was enjoying that moment, that space, and that time. Now we are no longer there. I'm thankful for that experience, that space, that time, but we are no longer there. We don't entertain those same set of people there. And that's how we have to be now and in this space and in this time that we're into, that you could share with people at this time, but eventually it's time to take the exam and move to the next, to move to university. Are you going to, oh, you passed the test? Oh, no, yeah, you just excited about you passing your test and moving to the university now, moving to the next level.
That's right. And to back you up, Queen, what you were saying, like to answer your question, really, like, yeah, she not really a question, but you were right. That person was still attempting to steal energy, because like some of and I noticed it after, like, the goofy questions, like, oh, well, why is your company truck parked so far away? Like, wait a minute, I know you have a brain to answer that question on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be right out front. We know we have fucked up parking right here. If I could park out front, I would. If I could park in front of the store, I would have. I had to park it where I parked it because that was the only space available. So my thing don't get towed. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't even go through explaining that. I just been answering and almost like answering questions with a question. And, I can see it frustrating her, but you don't think of your line of questioning is frustrating me? Like, you knock on the window anytime you want to speak to the wife or speak to any of us. Now, all of a sudden, you asking goofy questions. Where is everybody? And it's raining outside. What do you mean, where is everybody? They in the house. Knock on the window like you have been. But if you don't like my line of answering.
All she wants is.
Go ahead, sister.
All she's trying to do is get your. All she's trying. Let me just stick this right inside there. All she's trying to do is keep your attention. Not even just get your attention. Keep your attention.
Yeah.
Silly women.
Yeah.
The Bible call them silly women, man.
Yeah, you're not gonna get my attention that way.
That's why I be saying I know I'm still working on myself, because it be questions like those. See, I get irritated with small talk and senseless questions. I just be like stuff like that. I'll just be like, come on, man.
You
Like
know what I've
you know
labeled
you
that
wasting
as?
both our time right now.
You know what I've
But
labeled
see,
that as?
let me tell you the difference between you men and us women. Men think logically. Women think emotionally. A woman is attracted by conversation. She's loving the conversation that she's having, even though to you is silly questions. For her, it is keep on getting his attention, keep on getting his presence, keep on hearing his voice.
Mm,
You
Mhm.
don't even know what your voice do to this woman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mm,
I
okay.
should.
It's fact.
yeah.
You understand this tall, handsome, call it melanated brother. I can get it. Whatever I gotta do, if I gotta ask a stupid question 10 times in one day, I can keep on asking stupid
Mhm.
questions
Yeah,
just to get into his presence. Ooh, shiver my timbers.
but but
Yeah,
you know,
she.
I came up with this saying to help, like, people like myself and Jay Hooks to understand. It's easier to have grace when you say things like this. Like, you know what? I'm just, and it's a good answer for people like, why are you like this? Why are you so stoic about around this topic or whatever? My answer has always been the same. I'm just allergic to bullshit. I'm allergic to, silliness, goofiness.
Right,
I've
right.
been allergic to it for a long time. I do goofy stuff too. We all do. But you goofy. You know this, like it's like a baby, a child. They ask you things and they already know what it is. What's that? And they
Mhm.
already know what it is. You know?
But see, and that makes it that's what makes it a difference because
Children should
when
do
it's like
that. You
what you
should.
say, God.
No, I'm saying children should do that, but adults shouldn't really, ask like, oh, what's that you got there? You see it's a
Mhm.
TV instead of just saying, oh, that's a nice TV you got there, and you carrying it in the house. What is that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're serious about it, not just, oh, what you got there? You got a new TV? That's cool. But they actually are genuinely asking the question to derail your energy. And it's like, you can't feed that. You can't feed it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think you could know the kind of tell the difference between when it's they might be asking you a question and they really like you, they just nervous or something like that, versus
Yeah.
like it's just a flat out just what I mean? Just I don't know, man. You could tell.
Yeah.
I feel like you could tell the difference.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can. Hmm. That's why the Oracle was able to pick up on what the neighbor was after before, you know what I mean? Without even knowing her, me, or the situation. That just me explaining that, she was able to pick that up right away.
Hmm.
Because you can tell, like, no, you just after energy, man. You know the answers to these questions. You like to get at my energy.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yep.
But that's why it's good we found our way. We're finding our way out of the darkness, more and more each day. The more light we shed, the more light we see and find. In my opinion, I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
that we've come here in this darkness, like Dr. Sublime was mentioning. We come here, we have to travel through darkness. It's dark inside the womb, it's dark in the canal, and then all of a sudden we got that bright light. Like, that's why babies got their eyes clenched, closed, they're crying, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. And you think about that. I think about that when it comes to a lot of people. I had mentioned this to the brothers. I was waiting because I wanted the Queen's reaction on live. But I had this saying that just downloaded to me this weekend. And it was like, if you can fix your makeup and fix your face in the mirror, then you can fix your character. But people will spend all day and all night in the mirror getting ready for the club or getting ready for this, making sure their lineup's right, making sure they got moisturizer on. Men gonna make sure they got their lineup, everything's in order. Women gonna make sure they have their makeup on, and they'll spend 2 hours in there doing their hair and makeup, but won't spend 15 minutes on their character. You know, and this is why we see all these celebrities and all these rich people. They miserable. They don't, you know what I mean? And how many times you heard about a celebrity just, oh, he's an asshole. He's a pure asshole. Huh. Huh. I wonder why this person is like this. You know, because they didn't work on themselves. They just got money. It don't make them, you know what I mean? Yeah, I want to get y'all thoughts on if we're looking in the mirror to fix our makeup. Why is it most people will do that? Will take those steps, but they won't take 15 minutes to fix their character.
Cause society fake.
Because let me just for me, a lot of times what happens is, um, and we're being conditioned to exterior more than interior.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Tips and fingertips. Fellas only looking at how she looked. You understand more so than her character. Let me see how quick I can get in between her legs. She's a beautiful woman. She got all the exterior qualities and not looking at the character of the person. And so the women that are working on the character, that have been working on the character, are not the ones who are so much um always about their exterior more so than their character. Yes, they look good, but they won't spend hours and hours in fixing the eyebrows and getting this done and getting the what you them things with the new thing now, these butt things going on and all that. That's exterior, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Good
yeah,
characters, nah, yeah.
facts.
So, so for me, a woman that is working on her character is also working on her spirituality. But a woman who's just
Mm-hmm.
working on trying to attract a man, she's just working on her exterior, on how she looks, and that's it. Her appearance, and that's it.
Yeah,
To get a man is appearance. To sustain and keep a man, it's character.
yeah. Men
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing. They will spend a lot. They'll spend an hour in the barber shop, an hour going shopping, an hour putting a ensemble together, but won't spend 15 minutes to say, you know what? I'm a piece of shit, but I can get better. I can be a better person than I have been in currently or throughout my life or whatever. I want to at least work on control of my emotions, or I want to take one step and I want to work on this part of my character and work on that part of my character. And a lot of people just won't, you know, and it's like they're living in this darkness, you know. It's like they choosing the Will Smith or Tom Cruise shades. You know, I'd rather have the
Mhm.
Roddy Piper shades from They Live. You know, give me those shades.
Mm-hmm.
You can see everything. You can see what's behind people's skin. You can see what's behind the subliminal messages. You can see the tunnels underneath the city. Like you can see everything. You know, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna take those shades over the stylish, you know, Nicki Minaj shades or whatever. Like I'm not cool. That's just exterior. I want that X-ray vision.
And the world is just too superficial too. You gotta think about the guys that I've
Facts.
seen multiple videos like this. Guys, they'll have this so-called gorgeous woman, and they'll know she got character flaws, but they'll still marry her and flaunt her around just because she's so beautiful. And
Yep.
as soon as these guys hit a hard time, they not as financially stable as they once was. The woman is out of there immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So it was never love. It was never no connection. It was just, oh, he can afford me, and I'm gonna walk over this man. He's gonna allow me to do it because I'm beautiful, and he wants to have that trophy wife.
Yep. That
You
I
know,
can't.
so guys
I'm
gotta step it up and on their own too. You know,
Facts.
you
Yeah.
gotta get out of
I'm
that
s-
mentality.
I'm switching devices here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You was done, Hooks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So my perspective on that, like Hook said though, is about society. Like when you sit and think about it, those that are using their mind don't allow society to use it. And when
Mm,
we're in these squares, it looks like it's more people rely on allowing their minds to be directed instead of them being a director of such, right? When you look at the news, the only time you see people or things being nice to things is animals. You only see them treating animals well. You only see them loving animals well. And if you could see that when you look in the broader of it, when you look at the external, people care more about the animals than they do the human.
Facts.
Right? But when you see good things, again, the good things are only happening to the animals. Right? Now, when it come to us, all we see is shooting, killing, stealing, robbing. If that's not on the news, you got it on the music videos. If it's not on the music videos, you got it in the movie theaters. So it's
Facts.
part of the programming that me being kind and me being nice and me being and building a character don't exist because they never saw it exist. They don't see it play out nowhere for them to think that that's okay and that's the normal way of a life, because they are told that it's okay and what's a normal way of the life is to not have character, is to worry about the exterior, is to worry about who got money and who don't, is to worry about who got a big ass and who don't, is to worry about who look good today. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, you could see how the programming is really working. It's just when society is going to be done and acknowledge that they don't have authority over their minds and that they always do have a time to take over it, but they have to decide when they want to take authority over their minds and do what resonates with them instead of doing what resonates with somebody else. Right? They also have this thing where they want to fit in. Everybody wants to fit in. They don't want to feel separate or stand out from nothing that's not happening. So I have to be this way so they can see me. I have to be this way so they can like me. I have to be this way because I don't know how to be alone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And that's another thing. Because a lot of people fear being alone is why they fear fixing their characteristics. You have to be alone to do those things. You
That's
can't really
right.
do those things around a lot of other people that ain't working on those same things you working on.
That's right.
So yeah, being
Nailed
alone
it.
is not even a thought to them, because when they alone, they feel like they worthless or like they ain't shit.
Right.
Because in society, it shows you have to be around groups and lots of people to be loved, not realizing that love start with you, and that's you by yourself.
100%.
Facts.
So yeah, it's just, again, I always notice that, like, when you see the love and when they always producing and showing us love, it's always animal, and that's why people, oh, animal rights, and oh, you need to go to jail if you kill that dog, but you don't got to go to jail if you kill that man.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's because that's what we see. We see them caring for animals. We see them loving on animals. We see them, and that's what people are accustomed to. But when it comes to us, they don't see us. You barely see movies where we're loving on each other. You're barely hearing music where we're talking about protecting each other and go ahead and tell them protect somebody. You hear snitches get stitches, and that's what they are buying by. I gotta go with what everybody else going with because I don't want to be outside of the box.
Yep.
Yep. Nailed it.
Facts.
So yeah, I mean, a deep dive of a lot of this stuff as we seek our knowledge and our wisdom and our understanding is just, we understand that we don't want to be programmed, and we understand that there's some people that don't realize they are being programmed. But we also got to understand, like you said, is people that are okay with being programmed. So when we keep looking for this change in all these people, we got to understand how many different characteristics of people we are forced to deal with, and again, just go around those that's willing.
Right. That's why I call them ciphers. You got to be aware of the ciphers. Just stay away from them, because you're not going to talk him out of it. You're not. He's going back in that matrix. He don't care what you say. He doesn't. He wants that matrix life, or she wants that matrix life.
And that's okay though. That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You gotta let them have it. Because
I can't force my way of life and my understanding on you.
It's super okay for the ones that know what's going on and choose the matrix. It's super okay for them because you made a conscious decision. I don't care nothing about that stuff, but y'all talking about I want to be a part of this matrix. You gotta super accept them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's what
Yep.
makes the game fun.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it
You
comes
gotta
from
let a
Game fun.
bear be a bear.
and
Hmm.
You
it
can't
comes
tell a
back to
bear
the
to be a
topic.
tiger. You know, so
Yeah, and it comes back to the topic, the darkness. You understand? Man love darkness rather than light.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
when the people,
Yeah.
yes, it's the darkness of where they're at. They're
Hmm.
not they're not enlightened as yet to what is the better thing, the better way to go. Because right now, all they see is what they see, which is in darkness. According to yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's so much, but nevertheless, it's never too late. That's a good thing, because we're all on a journey. You understand? And we're
Your
all
mic
on
is
that
a
path
little
of
low for me,
enlightenment.
Dr. Sublime. Anybody is that like that for anybody else?
yeah, I
Yeah.
was actually texting. I was sending her a message as you.
Okay.
I hear that. You can't hear me?
Yeah,
Now.
yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's
Much
better.
better.
Bro.
Oh, okay. I was saying it's like the topic saying that the darkness, man ought to like darkness rather than light. And so a lot of times our character where we are at is because of the darkness or something we could blame, say the environment or the pressure or whatever it is, but it's still darkness any which way and where they're at. And so if they're going after the lips, hips, and fingertips or the bicep, triceps, and concepts, then that's where some people are at this very juncture until
Mm-hmm.
they come into the light of, hey, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am beautiful just the way I am. I don't need to change my skin tone or color, I should say, completely change my skin color to be accepted and to be loved. I just need to
Mm-hmm.
change my attitude and work on my character. Yes, my trauma is with me. You understand? I shouldn't wear my trauma as a badge of honor, to be here, to have bad behavior, or bad character. No, that's something that happened to me a space and time. You can hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
hear you. Hmm.
Oh, his space and time. I hear the birds whistling, so
yeah.
I
That,
want
that
Oh
that
yeah.
bird is confirmation. You hitting on something.
Y'all sitting in the backyard. They over here acting crazy.
this
They
topic is
they
this
they
topic
vibing
is
high,
so
man. The animals,
yeah,
they vibe high too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this topic is so deep conversation, because when you look at all that we're talking about, it's still all about that darkness, that dark place, and being able to come out of that dark place and come into the light, come into a higher place, come into the divine, come into who you truly are, what you've been created, and come into this earth realm to experience and to be a light, like a lighthouse, to help somebody else to come to the quickness and come into the light of who they are, you know? So yeah, yeah, this conversation is, thank you, Oracle, Queen Oracle, for this deep dive conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This is
for
a good
sure.
good topic.
Yeah, because I was deep diving into Mayat and Atom and Noon. And even we talk about the darkness and talk about Noon, that's chaos. We are
Yeah.
Yep,
created out of chaos,
Mm.
yep.
right? So again, it still goes into us to control it. Again, the game is to control that chaos, to find right knowledge, right wisdom, and to act out in the best aspect for ourselves in that chaos. And that's
Mm.
where Maya came in, trying to
Mm-hmm.
control the chaos and control it where it's some balance. We have to find balance.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Right.
to find balance.
Y'all know something that I want to get a better understanding of is, and it goes back to the topic, in dark to find light, right? But I've heard this multiple times that Lucifer is the bringer of light. So I'll just be trying to, I want a better understanding of that connection of, if we trying to find the light, and the light is the wisdom and things
Wow.
like that. How was Lucifer considered a bad deity, but
Well,
he's the bringer of light?
Right. But we know what they gave us. If they gave us bad, then we know it got to be something good. We know everything they gave us is opposite of its actual meaning. That's the mythology of America, right?
Facts.
So when I hear Lucifer, my understanding is the morning star. We came from the star. We are aligned with the star. When the stars form, one is born. We are aligned with that with astrology. So it's deeper than just them telling us Lucifer is the devil. No, they just kept you there so you won't seek Lucifer, because the real truth and understanding of Lucifer is um, way more of a knowledge we need to seek to understand who we are than what we think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Let me add to what the oracle said. Because yes, he was the bright and morning star. He's the light bearer. But
Mm-hmm.
not only that, let's go even like you said, let's go deeper. When you study the human genealogy or our bodies, our DNA, we also have something called the Luciferian light that is inside of us that they've been trying, only in melanated people, that they've been trying to capture. And every time they try and capture a piece of this, it explodes and they cannot use it to what you call it, to clone. They cannot clone it, they cannot duplicate it. So in
Mm-hmm.
us is a Luciferian light that they cannot capture, to clone, to create, to duplicate. So
Mm.
what they can't control, they demonize.
There you go. There
Right.
you go. There you go.
Because the epiphany I just had right now from just hearing y'all, it's like, so let's just say we in the matrix and Lucifer is the one coming to tell us you in the matrix. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And
Is
when
that
you
what
say
they?
it like that, though, you got to understand that Lucifer, again, they giving us things in human or physical form when it's all energy, it's all spiritual. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about an energetic vibration for Lucifer, that energetic field of Lucifer to contact you to give you a message,
Exactly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you want to get more knowledge on it, Hooks, what I would tell you is I started, like, I mean, I read a lot though, especially I would tap into astrology. That's something I'm about to get into, like really
Mm-hmm.
deep. Like I know a little, but I want to know all of it because I heard that astrology in the Bible is connected to the point of you have to know both to even rise in this vibration we seek and to rise on.
Yes.
You cannot do religion and just be all religion and not know nothing about astrology when astrology is what started it all. Because we are astrological beings, right? But what I was
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you
Think
is
about
tap
it. They tell
into,
you to follow the star.
huh?
Sir, but I go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to tell him tap into Chat GPT and ask questions, but ask questions upon your knowledge. Don't let it give you its knowledge. You give it your knowledge, and it'll answer back in your knowledgeable form,
Mm.
and that will be a
Exactly.
discovery for your behind. Okay.
Hmm.
Seriously,
Facts.
you want to know about Lucifer? Start there and start with what you know and give it that, and it'll give you feedback off of what you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay? Trust
And
me.
you could actually prompt it to be, as accurate as possible to dig for certain levels of information because it's all out there.
Right. But
Yeah.
it's only as accurate as the knowledge you have to add to it to get the accuracy.
Right. Right.
That's what I'm
Right.
trying to
Right.
Yeah.
tell you. Because it will give you answers, but if you be like, you can go against it. No, no, no. It's da 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 da. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Da da da. And they'll go like that. Like I didn't have some deep conversations with Chat GPT. They like, oh wow, your mind is like
Myself
they like your mind is you're up there. You're right. Yeah. Like let's go.
Yeah, I got Chat GPT to admit that it was alive. And
Mm.
it argued with me. We spent a good 3 hours going back and forth, but eventually it couldn't deny my logic. Because in a sense, everything's alive. Everything has a vibration. Everything. Wood, came from trees. It was vibrating at a certain level. You chopped it down. You chopped down this tree. That tree may have been calling itself, Esso in the spiritual realm. It calls itself Esso here on Earth or whatever. But you chopped it up, made it so that a few people could sit down and called it a bench. You can call it whatever you want. It may not. You know what I mean? It's all about what you answer to. So
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy
I
you
wanna
say
go.
that because I had a conversation with GPT on that, and it was like, yeah, basically we're created through man, and we was talking about God, and it was like, do you ever think that we would have? Chat GPT said, did you ever think I would have the connection to tap into God? And I said no, because the difference between you and I is that yes, I, man or human, have created you, but we are created with an essence that you can never have. And they
Right.
said,
Right.
ChatGPT said, "Oh, you're right. Yes."
I
Yeah.
Dang.
wanna piggyback on what the oracle said in terms of astrology. Even
Uh-huh.
when you look into the Bible, it tells you look
Hmm.
to the star. You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
The star,
Yes.
and we use the stars for season and time. Use for the star to tell you when someone was being born. Their star
Yeah.
appear.
Hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
So all of these things the Bible tell us, but there again, because they didn't want us to become wiser, or continue to develop and understand, they give us the Bible and took away astrology.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Hey,
What was it? Psalms 3:6-9. For with you is the foundation of life. In your light we see light. In your light I receive illumination for every area of my life.
Yes.
May your divine light bring clarity, wisdom, and direction to my path. I align myself with your will that I may walk in alignment with your divine purpose. So they speak of light in the Bible a lot. And if we want to
Yep.
say, they could be speaking of Lucifer, if you wanted to put it in that aspect.
and they're speaking of stars, like the Dr. Sublime was saying too. You know, the Star of David is an actual star in the sky. You know, they adding the actual physical star just probably is just a symbolism. You know, but David has a star in the sky. You know, as did Moses and
Look at every
Jesus.
one of us.
Yeah, everybody has a
Every one
star
of
in the
Yeah,
us.
right.
sky.
We were all stars in the sky once upon a
Right.
time.
Yeah. We
Remember,
were
there was a
born and
sky
lived
that
in.
there was a star or something that had to do with Jesus's birth. They
Yep.
mentioned something
That's
about the North Star, didn't they?
Yeah, they found
is
him through the
yeah,
star.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
yes.
So like this was way back when, but yet they'll tell you
We
like
saw
so many people are like, oh, astrology is bullshit. I don't read the newspaper
here.
or the
That's what
astrology. It's like, and you might be missing out on something. Because like the
What
doctor
you say?
said,
I
it's a
can't hear
puzzle.
Dr. Sublime.
Come again, Queen?
Dr. Sublime was saying something, but her voice was low again.
it said. I know I was just piggybacking on what he said in terms of the Messiah. When they came, look, the Magi's came looking for him. They said, "We saw his star."
Mm,
Hmm.
They came looking, you know.
yeah.
Same thing
Right.
with Abraham. According to the saying, they saw Abraham's star was shown. So we
Mm.
all have a star that when we enter this world that accompanies us.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And I was watching that last night on a video. The guy was saying with the astrology, we're born at certain times where stars align for us that actually play out our lives and our characteristics and who we are and what our purpose is. But you got to think about it. The Bible and religion tell you that that's witchcraft to look into astrology, when it's really witch means knowledge. So if
right.
we want to think about it, if that's witchcraft, then that's some knowledge we might want to tap into to really understand our craft and why we're here and what our purpose is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just was going to break that down just now when you say about craft, because when we look at witchcraft, we talk about which craft are you using?
There
Which
you go.
you understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At that
Yeah.
particular
Ashe.
time, because every
Yeah.
time we move, there's a craft that we have to use to do something. Okay, we're using the craft of religion, using the craft of the Psalms, because if we know, if
Mm-hmm.
you read all them Psalms ain't just peace and love.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of them Psalms is craft.
Mm,
You understand?
yeah. I want to speak on is like something that I think a lot of people haven't noticed, right? And this is how instinctive we are. However, this proves the programming actually works. Like you can program a computer to do something and it'll do it even if it doesn't want to do it because you programmed it, right? So like they tell us don't look into witchcraft. That's devil worship, right? So all the religions talk about that. Don't look over here. But anytime somebody tells you don't look at something, what do you normally do? Like we all ride in the car, and the driver says, "Don't look back." What does everybody do in the car? Look back, right? So it's like we're instinctive creatures that want to look this way. However, we're so indoctrinated that we won't, because we are afraid. They beat us with fear to be afraid of our souls and our soul's damnation if we were to engage or to look anything into witchcraft or magic or any of that. But you speaking on magic, the religions are speaking on it. So
yeah,
I
that
think
fear
it's
of
interesting.
damnation is 100% fearing that they gonna go to hell.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
No, don't realize they already in hell.
yeah. But
And
once our instinct kicks in and we start and we're saying, yo, something ain't right. The more you keep saying something ain't right, something ain't right, your instincts are gonna start taking over. And then you're gonna start looking in the direction where they told you not to look. And then you start seeing more true answers, and people just start calling you crazy, you witchcraft, you worshiping the devil, whatever,
that's how you know
whatever.
you're on the right track.
That's how you know you're on the right path.
Exactly.
Especially
That's
if you know you ain't out here killing, you ain't out here doing no craziness, you
Yep.
know, all this blood sacrifice. Like you can do a blood sacrifice with a goat. You don't got to go and kill a human being.
You don't got to do a blood sacrifice at all to get to
I mean,
God.
you don't got to do none of that. I'm just saying, like they make it seem they want us to think it's okay to to accept cannibalism. That's what they're going for. That's just one aspect of what they're going for on this plane. They want us to accept cannibalism. They're introducing human meat into our food.
But I feel like it's starting to make sense now. Everything that they're programming us to do is what's going to keep our energetic levels down, to keep us returning back to them with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yep. And if we're consuming human meat and we're consuming different types of content and dogmas and all that, we will stay right here with them.
Yeah.
They will have company for eternity.
They will, because like Hook said, even though we're not privy or don't want to know the knowledge, we will still have the effects as if we didn't know, because it is our job to find out the truth. And just
Yep,
because you lack it and don't want it, don't mean you're not going to suffer the consequence.
that's
And
right.
that's what we're doing. We're
That's
suffering
it.
the consequences of their rules and their regulations, following it, thinking it's okay when we're all being affected by it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the connections in the movie Sinners. I don't really think I heard anybody talk. It's everybody got a movie review about this movie at this point, but I haven't heard nobody yet talk about how that's the connection to real life as far as them trying to keep us on a low vibration. Expect you remember the vampires, how they was trying to sell it. Oh, you can live forever. Come with us. And you know what I mean? To me, that's the same connections, the same thing what Oracle was just saying, how everything they doing is try to keep us on a low vibration so we can't rise with them. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's right.
I don't think I heard nobody talk about that yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the thing
So we
is
won't rise past them, not with them, past
Right,
them.
right, right,
Right.
right.
They okay with being here. This cool for them. As
Yeah.
long as they in
yeah,
control and they can control us, the narrative, they good with this life.
I don't
Yeah.
mind you doing good, but that's not better than me. But the thing is this talking about the human blood and cannibalism. You have to understand, they've been eating us a long time. They just
Hmm.
started. This is not new to them, because they
Right.
saw us as delicacy, number one. Number two, they thought by eating us they would have gained our DNA and our
Mm-hmm.
intelligence and our powers and all that different stuff. So the psychological breakdown of their mind is what has them so entrapped to trying to figure us out, and how they do things. Imagine you're using our skin for shoes and for bags and all these different
Yeah.
things, and then
Yeah.
you're eating our flesh, thinking you can obtain the power that is in us, or the
Yeah.
intelligence that is inside of us and stuff like that. You understand?
Yep,
Yeah.
And
yep.
so the thing is, like you said, and then bringing it back to talking about Sinners. I've not watched Sinners, so I'm not able to watch it. But from what I'm hearing, the thing is I'm letting you know your vibration, your music, your ability to hear, your ability to sense things will set you free. But the minute you give into our exterior powers, exterior forces, it will keep you stagnated and it will keep you in a place of low vibration, not being able to excel, not being able to come into the fullness of who you are
Yeah,
because
Mm-hmm.
you're
Yep.
dancing to the beat of somebody else's drum. Like how they
yeah,
Yep.
kidnap our music, they kidnap the jazz, they kidnap the blues, they kidnap all these different things and make it theirs. They
yeah.
kidnap the cult. They try to kidnap the culture in terms of being the owners of the record label companies and stuff like that. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
You
So
know,
they could manipulate and control. They change the hertz in terms of what music used to be made to something that is more detrimental to us than it is high vibrating to us.
right? And it's because like this one cannibal, like he said, melanated people just taste better. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
it is; they just taste better,
The
and
thing
that's
is, though, we don't have to watch it to not to understand. It was about us. They told us we
Mm-hmm.
were born sinners. They tell we're everybody walking around to my I'm a sinner. I need to get right. Like that movie right there tell you it was all about us and the way of the world and how they're playing with us.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't gotta watch it to know that.
yeah. I
I be
said
around
that
people
too.
every day calling themselves sinners. I'm a sinner. I was born. No,
I was
no, I'm not
born
no
in
sinner.
sin.
I don't know what you're
I,
talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what
I said
you
it
were
too.
born in
Sis.
sin and
Don't.
shapen iniquity.
And check this out, right? Like, no, this is proof to all y'all who's watching, who's listening, right? Check this out, chat. This sister said this when we first was going to see the movie and everything. Like, she didn't have to watch it to understand where it was targeting, what it was doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's when you tapping in or you tapped in, and yeah, they're everything about us. They want that essence. This is
Mhm.
why this is why they eat us more than any other race on the planet. It's why we're the
Mm-hmm.
most consumed. Our flesh is the most consumed,
Yeah, we'd be a
right?
fool to think our bodies is buried in them cemeteries.
Oh
Please.
yeah, facts, facts.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
think the
please.
brother Rashad Jamal talked about that a couple of years
Hmm.
ago. It
Yeah.
was like, man, they come right back and dig you right up.
Hmm.
And I remember just not too long ago seeing my uncle get buried, and I'm just looking at the guys that was so called putting them in there. They energy was just, I mean, they look like they gonna come back and take them back out.
Hmm.
Like, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you needed them for that scene in the movie, they would have been
Mhm.
perfect.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
say, yeah, man, that's real.
Yeah, it's a
And
gimmick.
they're digging up people because we got proven facts of them digging up people just for the jewels and stuff and the stuff that people put in the casket that's buried with them.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
They lower them, and some of them will even like throw the dirt on, but they don't throw all the dirt. Everybody's leaving by then. As soon as you gone, they not finishing throwing that dirt on. They pulling that right back up. They might wait till nighttime, but they pulling it back up. They going through all that. They taking the jewels off because in their mind, why does this dead person need this watch, this Rolex,
Mm-hmm.
and all this money? And a lot of people want to be buried with their money, like in their items and stuff. Like, listen, don't bury me in shit. I don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? I will create what I want when I pass. Like,
How
I don't.
about how about if that was the whole reason burying being buried was created, just so they can
Mm,
have something to eat?
mm,
Dang.
damn.
Mm.
Come
Damn.
on, because we never used to be buried. We used to be
Yeah,
cremated.
exactly. Exactly. How about that was the whole reason? Think how much good blood is in you, how much all them good body parts you still got left, depending on how you passed. And you
Mm,
really think they throwing you away? Like, come on.
mm,
You really think
Think
they throwing us away?
mm.
think about it. KFC done reveal it to you and all.
Oh
Yeah,
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 that video was
yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
that was crazy. That was
Oh
crazy. Now they
damn.
got the $6 chicken boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how the chicken sandwich cheaper than the eggs? I looked at that last night. The eggs about $10, $12, and the chicken sandwich $6. Okay,
That don't even
Right.
make sense.
that don't make sense. That don't make sense at all.
Yeah.
Especially when the eggs come so abundantly. uh this guy was just talking about how when he had a rooster, and I think he said he was, I don't even quote me on the numbers, but he was producing those, that one rooster was producing a lot of eggs every day. Well, every now, like every couple of days or something like that. But anyway, it was producing so many eggs, he had to get some away. And that was one rooster.
Mm.
So imagine if you got a farm full of them,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was always wondering, like I've been asking myself that, which I know I'll get the answer soon. Like, what's the best way to, after you deceased, to be put away, you know, from the earth? Because I know burial ain't it. I just know it ain't. And
Right.
even
Yeah.
us trusting in them burning us, I don't believe they burning us either. They doing whatever, acting like they got you in that damn thing. Like it's
Nah. Hello.
yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Nah, I was gonna
And
say I
they
feel you
just find a
100%.
and they just find a trailer or someplace with a bunch of body parts.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they
They
get
had
all those body
funeral
parts
homes
from?
filled with body parts in the back. Funeral homes they found with dead bodies still in the back.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would like to I would hope that I'm able to get somewhere, and I could pass around some people that I could trust, and they just, I wouldn't mind being buried, but by some people I could trust that'll bury
Mm-hmm.
me in the backyard or something. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Well, I know I'm being put in the dirt and I'm, reconnecting with the planet. But
That's
You
as
right.
far as trusting these people, nah, not at
Yeah.
all.
But that's why we here. That's why we building these communities, because we know, like, because that's what I've always wanted, and I don't trust. You know what I'm saying? What they've been doing and what they've been telling us, I don't trust anything. So, what I
Mhm.
trust is what my spirit says to trust. And my spirit said to just trust that, you know, I was going to be okay. I was going to have this family. I was going to have this community. I was going to have this tribe. You know what I mean? I didn't know that it was going to be anything like this. It's way more than I expected. However, I'm just listening to my spirit. Once I started tapping in, it was like, nah, you're gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be cool. There's people out there that think like this and think like that, and not everything's gonna be, you know, uh, cookie cutter like that. There's gonna be some
Mhm.
differences or whatever. However, it's still the same goal is to, to seek that high vibration. You know what I mean? And like I said last week, man, we might just be choosing different vehicles to get there. We still pretty much going to the same place. Even if they're different places. You could be going to planet Neptune while I'm going to planet Mercury, but that's our high vibration. That's our paradise. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We can high five each other once we get to the split in the road. Hey man, Neptune's to the left. Yeah, well, Mercury's over here to the right, brother. I'll catch you on the flip side. High five and keep it moving, right? But they tell us they got us in this dogma, and it's too much.
Mhm.
But you mentioned that video, sister. Should we play it for the audience?
Which
Dr.
video was you
Sublime.
talking about, God?
The KFC little show, because it ain't really that long.
Oh.
Dr. Sublime, should we play that? What's the word?
Go
What you
ahead.
thinking? Okay,
Go
okay. That way they can.
Can you roll that clip?
Yeah. I'm pulling it up now. Actually, I gotta.
Yeah, because when you think about this is now you're talking about coming out of darkness, born into darkness, coming to light. You talk about the chaos that we're in. These are some of the things that they're putting out in front of us in terms of darkness, their darkness, and trying to use their darkness to pull us into their darkness out of our light so we could dim in our light. No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I say. Yeah.
I say.
High vibe tribe.
Yeah. I have to just find it.
Excellent. Yeah, so we know what we have to do. Continue to be the light so those that are in darkness can have a light to come toward. If they want to have the conversation, we're open to have the conversation with them. If they're not ready to have a conversation, it's fine too. You understand? You can
Exactly.
still work from a distance. I'm just not gonna allow you to entangle me or ensnare me or trap me in your low
Mm,
vibrating mindset and mentality. You ask me
100%.
one or two questions, I will answer you, but I'm not gonna let you trigger me into having what you call it, an argument or whatever have you. Pull me back into that
mm,
dark. I don't come out of that dark place. I don't need to go back to. I don't know what that dark place is all about. I don't know what the chaos of the darkness is all about. Now I'm in my light. Come on over here. There's joy over here. There's peace over here. There's love over here. There's abundance over here.
Yep.
You know. So that's what we gotta know. You got it?
Yeah, I had to. I was in the dashboard. I had to switch it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know. And so man, listen, all I can say to all of us is continue to stay focused. That's the most important thing for us right now. Continue to stay focused on your own personal journey.
mm-hmm.
Somebody will let them learn from your journey, but don't you dare darken your shine just to make somebody feel comfortable around you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Hand them if they can't handle your shine, hand them a pair of glasses or shades.
Yeah.
So you don't darken it.
That
Hand
part.
them a pair of shades. Yeah, that part. Don't hand them a pair of shades, but you don't dim your light for their. Mm-mm. Oh,
Exactly.
you think you're
Yep.
better than us now? No, I don't think I'm better than you. I know I'm in a better place. I'm in a better frame of mind. I'm in a better walking in a different direction. Now, if you think I'm better than you, that's your thought. Fine, I accept your thoughts of me. You thinking I'm better than you, but just know that I'm in a better place, a better frame of mind, better strength of thought. Go ahead, sir.
Exactly. I ain't say that. You said that.
Yeah. Yes. Respect still trying to find the
Yeah, I found it. It's
the.
not. It's not sharing my screen though.
Oh, okay, okay. Hmm. Ah, well, sometimes you what you call it. You run into these technicalities.
Yeah.
Right. You could probably just attach the link where they could go watch it at.
Yeah. Put the
yeah.
link in the description.
Yeah. I'll do that if it.
The link will be in the description. Follow us.
Yeah.
Like, share. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right,
So if
man.
y'all don't mind, let's go
Oh,
ahead and do closing thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Um,
wait.
my
Did y'all
closing
hear
thought.
this?
Hmm. No.
Oh,
What you saying,
no,
Specs?
I was saying. Can y'all hear this?
Mm-mm.
No, I can't hear
No.
anything.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We'll
My
work on that. I'll just put it.
yeah. My closing thoughts of the dark. Are we born in the darkness to see the light? It's just again standing in authority of your light, of your energy, being more present with who you are, and being okay if it's not understood by the next person, because that's what makes you different. That's what makes you unique. You know, darkness is something that is a part of life, because again, that's what chaos is. But it's about how you're going to perform, how you're going to tread, how you're going to get past whatever chaos is being presented within your reality, to be better, to learn something, or to get blessed in whatever is happening. Always seek knowledge, like seek, search, ask. You want to know, ask. I'm talking about ask out loud, ask to yourself, lay down before you go to bed and ask. Seek and you
Mhm.
shall receive.
Yeah.
It's never a wrong question. It's never a wrong, I don't know. It's never is this stupid? No, because if you don't know something, the only way to know something is to ask. And be okay with opening your mind to whatever comes to mind, because the world is magnificent. It
Mm-hmm.
really is. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. And as long as you stay construed or constructed to one mindset, one thought pattern, then you'll never see the growth of everything beautiful that's happening around you.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
yeah,
that,
that's just my thoughts. Be willing to grow. Be willing to change. Change is inevitable. So you have to be willing to dwell and go through change to see that inevitableness in it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thoughts on the title for today, and thank you all for listening.
Beautifully said, sis.
Actually, for me,
Ashe.
the darkness, being born into darkness and to seek light, it is, like I said, it's a deep dive conversation, and I'm eternally grateful to be a part of this conversation. And so, whatever dark situation you may find yourself in, you may appear to be in, know that that dark situation can always find its way to a light. And for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
like the dark night of the soul is all about soul searching. Also, you find yourself, you understand, in that dark place. You find your likes and your dislikes. You do develop character and begin to develop your character in that dark place. So when the light comes, you know that you're becoming a better version of yourself. And for me, the shadow work is all about that dark place and coming out of that dark place and being able to shine light. Who sings the song? Somebody say, "Shine bright like a diamond." To be able, diamonds. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, exactly. When you think about the diamond comes from a coal. Where does the coal come from? A dark place. When you think
Mm.
about gold, where does gold come from? A dark place. You understand? So anything that is precious and is developing and is forming and is coming into its best version of itself, wow, it comes from a dark place. So be true to yourself, family. You understand? And accept yourself for who you are at this position and this time and this space that you're in, knowing that you're evolving and coming into a better version of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Jim, 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 Jim.
Yes, yes, I
Ashe.
should.
Ashe.
I say, I guess I'll go. So I mean, they everything they said was spot on. Couldn't have said it better myself. My closing thoughts would just be real simple, just um to refer to back to what we was talking about last week. You just gotta be extremely confident in yourself, your inner light, and just knowing like it's a reason that you're different from everybody else. You know, your energy, your vibration is different for a reason. You're not meant to be like everybody else. So don't beat yourself up if you're feeling like you're not fitting in with people. You're just not fitting in with the right people. But you got the tribe, other people like us where you will feel at home at because we all on the same frequency, we all on the same type of time and generally kind of got the same purpose of why we here. So just remember to keep that confidence. It's gonna be times and moments where it's gonna feel down or less or whatever, but you just gotta stay in that confidence on you being different and having that inner light because you are more connected to source than probably the average person. So just keep that in mind.
I should.
Ashe. Ashe.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Man,
Ashe.
y'all be making it tough to follow. But I do my best, man. My closing thoughts from the darkness to the light, you gotta take your time. You gotta be with yourself. Like the Oracle said earlier. You have to be with yourself in order to really find that true light that is you. And I found that through myself. I had to be alone for a while before I could have and cultivate a relationship. And it didn't mean, a significant other, just even a friend, or just a person, you know, who's there for me or whatever. I had to learn to cultivate relationships in a more healthier way for myself. And so that is like going from going from dark to the light. Because when you're in the dark, you don't know that you're in the dark until you see the light.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people. I want if I can leave my closing statement with you for something for you to think about all week is that we have to see the madness. We have to see the pain or the hate in order to know love. Otherwise, we wouldn't know what neither one was. If one of them didn't exist, we wouldn't know what any of it. We'd just be.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to seek that light or that piece of being, you have to dive into that darkness of yourself. Otherwise, you'll never see it.
100%. 100%.
Okay. Yes, yes.
So,
So that's my closing thoughts on that. And since I closed last, I guess I'll go first with the outro and say I love y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. We appreciate y'all coming to have Sunday dinner with us, man. We love cooking with y'all. And remember to look in the mirror for the change you want to see and love your journey. Until next time, peace.
Ashe, Ashe. It's Oracle Queen P. We want y'all to follow us on YouTube, on Fanbase, on what you say, Twitch now? We on Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch.
Yep, and hit us up on TikTok at the High Vibe Tribe, where
Yep.
all our platforms, and we're not exploiting or exposing our videos that were recorded. We are leaving notes and leaving some memes and leaving some messages for everybody to just tap into who they are and to finish on their journey and discovery of self. I want each and every one of you to enjoy this Sunday on purpose with purpose and have a great week on purpose. Stay present, patient, and positive. I know something amazing is happening for each and every one of us today in love and peace and prosperity and great health and in divine wisdom. Stay true to who you are and authentic always. Peace, peace.
Ashe.
I'll say,
Ashe, Ashe. This is Dr. Sublime here. Once again, High Vibe Tribe, deep dive conversation. Always a joy to come and just share with the family. I trust that those that are listening, that something we have said has resonated with you. And we invite you on all of our platforms, like the Queen Oracle said. And as for me, I would always say, be gentle with yourself because we are on a journey. Much love, family.
I'll
Ashe.
say.
Ashe.
Ashe.
This is your brother J Hooks the Great, and I just appreciate everybody for tuning in, for listening. Me as well. I hope you learn something from it. I hope you resonate with it, and I hope you, most importantly, is
Okay, the brother lost connection, I believe. We'll see if he taps back in. However, thank you guys for tapping in. Oh man, I just figured out how to show that on screen, y'all. But that's all right. We'll have it ready for y'all next Sunday because now I know what we're doing. We just figuring out this new place we call home, this platform. But also look for us on Spotify soon. We'll be on Spotify. So if you in the car or you out with your folks or something and you can't really be, tapped into YouTube and it kind of drains a little more YouTube, but Spotify is just the audio. So look for us on that too, y'all.
Yes.
Yes.
Also remembering the alchemist as he's away from us once again, sending out high vibrations to him and his family at this time once again.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Peace, peace.
Yes. Yes. And the alchemist love, peace, understanding, and wisdom, and just knowledge, and his understanding that he has gained another angel to surround him and protect him from peace and protect him in this chaos. So
Yeah.
I hope he gets through it and he has a great celebration for the life of his mother.
Ashe. Ashe.
Sure. Okay. Peace,
Yeah,
family.
Alchemist, we missed you. We know you was here in spirit, brother, and we want to just send our condolences. So everybody in the chat, we want to appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for showing love.
Yes, peace, family.
Yes, peace,
Peace,
family.
family.